And it's really appropriate that we're here today at the Future Summit because this has been an incredible forum for helping to build the Think, Make, Happen platform, to getting us to where we're at, helping with the buy-in and engagement of the stakeholders and all of the groups that really needed to be part of this and needed to participate along the way. And so to be here today to show you how far we've come and what we're ready to roll with is truly an honor, but also, again, trying very hard to contain my excitement, if you can't tell. So just let's recap a little bit. Last year when we presented to you, we told you about Think, Make, Happen and how this platform was built based on the perception study and the research that we had conducted of Wisconsinites, the surrounding states, and then the rest of the United States, and really kind of breaking down those ideas of what people knew about Wisconsin and, more importantly, what they didn't know about Wisconsin. And since then, we challenged our partners to really, embrace this and adopt that. And it's been an overwhelming success from what we've seen. Here are just a couple snapshots of other people, other organizations, other stakeholders using the Think, Make, Happen message. One of the partners that was on stage with us last year was the Waunakee High School, and they were talking about how they wanted to use Think, Make, Happen to better promote youth apprenticeships, to build awareness not just with the students, but with the other teachers, with the community, parents, etc. We've completed that video, and using testimonials from students that had gone through the program, we're experiencing kind of real world work situations and really having kind of a start of their career take place in those experiences. And the video, they've shown it many times, including at halftime during the football game. And if you've kept track of state football, there's a lot of people at Waunakee football games. So really kind of showing how far this message can go. From the WEDC perspective, we consider ourselves just a member of a marching band in a big parade that is this Think, Make, Happen platform that we're building. But we needed to be able to kind of put the infrastructure in place so that when we are talking about it and we're building these channels that are going to reach these new audiences, that we had a place for people to go to and we had the right ways for which we can connect. So we've added YouTube channels, we've added an Instagram and a Facebook accounts, and then we rebranded our existing channels to make sure that they were resonating with the messaging that we wanted to provide to our target audiences. So then to think about, okay, so now we're ready to go. We've got the infrastructure in place, we've got our partners on board, we have the businesses and the business community begging for something to be done to attract more talent and to promote Wisconsin messages to those that are here and those that we want to have here. So go back to the perception study and kind of look at what was it that people thought about Wisconsin and what did we learn from that. And remember, one of the things that we shared was actually a really good thing for the folks that have moved to Wisconsin, folks like Will and Katie. Once they get here and they realize the opportunities that Wisconsin has to offer, not just for their career and the career opportunities, but for the rest of their family, for their friends, for the impact that they can have in their communities, they want to stay. Folks in Wisconsin, particularly millennials, are much higher to not want to move away from Wisconsin once they get here compared to other states and the rest of the nation. So we have that going for us. But we do have to really overcome this perception challenge that we've talked about and that you see up here in some of the cases. So how are we doing this? We've talked about this platform and this idea that this is a shared message platform. It's adaptable. It's meant to be used not just by WEDC in partnership with our other state agencies, but also by the communities, by businesses, et cetera. But we want it to be done in a way, so we're going to show examples of how we've been able to adapt that to different target audiences, including obviously the millennials that we've been talking about, Midwest millennials in particular, also the alumni, those that have had a Wisconsin experience already, that may have simply moved away for a career opportunity or to go back to where they originated from and now are looking like, hey, I think I could really see myself back in Wisconsin, raising my family here. And then 3, obviously, the transitioning veterans and their families as well. So before I kind of get into the millennials piece of it, the idea of how we're going to do this really came down to, again, market testing, making sure that whatever message that we send resonates with the audience. And so in doing that, we tested this idea that had overwhelming success. And kind of building on what Katie and Will talked about in their video, is that in Wisconsin, it's not just about a career, it's about quality of life, and it's about more time, and it's about being able to be connected in a way where your involvement, whether it's through work or through civic or social organizations, that you can have more impact. That essentially, at the end of the day, you can just have more of you and what you love. So these are a couple additional examples. I know you've got a glimpse of this before, but if you think about that, if you think about looking at the Chicago target market, because we really had, in this first campaign, earmarked $1 million. And knowing that $1 million could only go so far, so we had to look at one geographic area for which to saturate and to take up a 3-month campaign. Knowing that as we evolve and expand, that we can apply that to other geographic markets, particularly Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the other side of the state. But looking at what the people in Wisconsin or in Chicago are experiencing, the longer commute time, sitting in traffic, how does that resonate? How does that message kind of make sense to them? And thinking, I'm sitting here in traffic when I could be out on one of Wisconsin's many lakes doing something I love. Again, you saw this earlier, the cramped apartment that is fairly expensive in downtown Chicago, or you could have a nice expansive loft in one of our urban areas, maybe even with a view of a lake. Or you could be riding the train, kind of crowded train, summer afternoon, probably not the most pleasant experience that you're having at that moment. Or you could be out on a trail on one of Wisconsin's many bike trails. When we tested this marketing, the feedback came very similar to what our perception study showed, but even in a more surprising area, because we're showing these images of Wisconsin to people that don't live that far away. Comments like, I thought it was mostly farms. It is. We have a lot of farms, a lot of great farms, but we have a lot of other great things too that people just don't think about. In the surrounding states, this is one of my favorite statements or feedback comments that were given. It made Wisconsin seem like less farmland and hillbillies. I haven't met too many hillbillies here in Wisconsin, but maybe they know something I don't know. And then I thought it was just farms and bars. We have a lot of both of those and some good ones too. But so it's really like, okay, we do have an opportunity here to kind of show some new ideas about the state. And again, to the national, just really more of the same. So then if you think about now, okay, how are we going to invest this $1 million in this campaign? And obviously with the millennial audience, we have to think about where are they? Well, they're usually on their phones, right? Or there's some sort of electronic device if it's not an in-place ad or marketing. So here's an example of what you might see in a Facebook ad showing kind of that depiction of cost of living and quality housing. And this was what that could look like. It'd be experiential. So it just catches your attention, and then once you kind of move your phone, the slide of what that could look like, showing, as you move it, slides towards a separate bedroom or an expansive living room, a view, kitchen, whatever it might be that just says, hey, this is the quality you could have in comparison to what you're paying currently in Chicago in somewhere like downtown Madison or Milwaukee or any other one of our communities. Here's kind of one of those kind of quick ads that would pop up. Make bedtime or playtime. Just kind of a quick run through on social media. And then again, comparing the commute time. The Wisconsin commute is an average of 22 minutes. Here's another for more of that quality of life, an hour in traffic or an hour with friends, doing something that you love. Here's we're going to show you. This is a video that you'll see either pre-YouTube video, kind of a pre-roll ad.
Your ramen or ours? In Milwaukee, the cost of living is 22% less than in Chicago. So you can go out in the town and taste the good life. Wisconsin, it's more you.
And this is one of the coolest things I think that will be taking place, is that we'll be putting a lot of this media in places where people are experiencing this. So next time you're in Chicago, anytime between January and March, look for Wisconsin on the side of some of the commuter trains. And before you're getting on the train, you saw this from the governor's presentation earlier, you'll see this. In Wisconsin, you'd be home by now. So then other places that you'll find those ads, we have a contract with health clubs. So you could be, having someone that's riding their Peloton or taking a class, and there'll be Wisconsin images and these ads placed there. In some of the more popular bars and restaurants, you may be setting your drink down on a coaster that promotes Wisconsin and our and our opportunities here for the state. So again, that's kicking off in January, so very excited about that. The next plank that we're building right now, which is still in the early stages, is the alumni. And so we've been meeting with the alumni directors of all of the University of Wisconsin and private colleges to really identify what their media channels are, knowing that the best way to reach their alumni is through their existing outreach, whether it's digital, their print, or even events. There might even be face-to-face opportunities for that. So more to come there. You'll see more of that happening. And again, you saw this earlier. So then again, taking a very, kind of a different turn and a different look at how do we then connect this message to veterans and veterans' families. Going back to the same kind of methodology that we use for the millennials, we have to understand really what is important to vets, what's important as they are transitioning out of their military careers and into kind of, the general population, general workforce. And it's surprising, even though they are highly recruited and they're valuable employees, and you've heard and seen how much companies here in Wisconsin value them as employees. Many of them actually leave without a job, and so that's it's nerve-wracking. It's causing angst. So that is their number one priority when they are transitioning out, is to go into a career. And then 2 is housing and also quality of life. They're ready to really enjoy their life with their family and to take advantage of wherever they move to. So it's important that when we built this, we're connecting with those messages. And that's really what you've seen kind of earlier. But then again, this is another one: proud fisherman, or proud soldier, proud fisherman. And talking about the quality of life, the outdoor opportunities that Wisconsin offers, that our veterans that partnered with us have told us that's really important to many of them. And career opportunities, from coding, or from coordinates to coding, flight check to paycheck. We have many aerospace companies, systems, design, development, testing, etc. here in the state, looking for a job or looking for a promotion, taking some of that management or leadership training that veterans received during their time in the military and helping them to create job opportunities, upward career mobility for them. Healthcare, another one, and this is kind of at a two-side, not just from a career perspective, but we can also showcase Wisconsin's strength in our health systems and our healthcare. Another housing opportunity, from cramped barracks to a comfortable living. And you saw this earlier, really promoting the fact, and I think this is really the one that we need to get that message out, that Wisconsin values and appreciates its veterans so much, and it's shown in the fact that we are the #1 state for veterans in terms of the programs that we offer and the benefits that we provide and resources that we provide to veterans. So when we do this, and this is how connecting in that right point of time, is that we'll be working with the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Workforce Development to actually attend over 20 recruiting shows over the course of a year. So right now you're seeing probably the kind of the Mac Daddy, the Cadillac version of a booth that would be used to do this, to connect to the vets at the time that they're looking to transition and talk about Wisconsin opportunities. Plan is to take even some Wisconsin companies with us as partners, and then talk to them about the state. DWD will be able to do their skills assessment, maybe even have them fill out job applications right on site, so that they are not just connecting and hearing about Wisconsin, but they're actually applying for jobs in the state to help to get them there. How are we doing this as far as, okay, so we've done all that work, we're selling this, we're promoting Wisconsin, we're sending out these messages. Now we have to send them somewhere. We have to have this destination, this landing place, and it doesn't currently exist. So we're moving everything WEDC related into a separate site, and we're taking in Wisconsin and blending it with thinkmakehappen.com, and having all of that driven to one site that is promoting it, Wisconsin, as a good place to live, a good place to do business, to grow, to learn about the state, etc. Saw this earlier. It will have pictures of all 4 seasons of wonderful experiences that people have in Wisconsin throughout the year.
Invention, industry, integrity, passion, persistence, pride, collaboration, commitment, character. The map may sketch the outline of our state, but not our boundaries. The potential of our state is measured in the people who live and work here today, and by those who will someday call it home.
You are on the edge of something new, and you're able to help write that narrative here and help define Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is shaped by its people as surely as any force in nature, and the impact of Wisconsin is felt worldwide. Potential lives at the forefront of scientific inquiry and propels us to still greater things to come. From our tradition of agriculture comes advances in food science that feed the world, not simply to provide nutrition, but to add flavor and zest. The freshwater stewardship that was born in our breweries has risen to answer tomorrow's global challenge of water conservation and sustainability. From medical advances to information technology, community, and culture, Wisconsin exports more than products. We deliver the work ethic and dedication of our people.
Now is a time of renaissance. We're seeing neighborhoods figure out how do they tie back into successful economic development in Wisconsin.
Along the streets of our cities and the avenues of our towns, people from different states and different countries all find their home in Wisconsin. But that doesn't mean they settle down. Their restless drive continues to keep our schools and universities outstanding, our businesses growing, and our people in action. The energy to create, entertain, and enjoy is demonstrated by the nation's largest music festival, the ultimate cross-country ski race, and more than 4,000 miles of world-class bike paths, hiking trails, and pristine lakeshore to keep everyone in Wisconsin making a life, not just a living. And that energy is constantly renewed and transformed with each generation. That transformation is happening now.
I'm a strong believer that if you can think of it, that's the hardest part of making anything happen, really. The rest is just going and doing it and finding the resources to help you pull it off.
As curiosity steps boldly over old boundaries, and ideas are welcomed into every boardroom, makerspace, coffee shop, and classroom, we tap into potential that we know is here and seek the unseen potential yet to come.
So this is just an idea of the experience that you'll see and experience on the new website. And thank you to our friends at Tourism for helping to provide a lot of the B-roll that really showcases Wisconsin across the state in all seasons for really that unknown aspect of it. Testimonials similar to what you saw in the video will also be sprinkled throughout the state in different spaces, really showing that firsthand experience of what, whether it's a person that's moved here or a person that's grown here, how they feel about Wisconsin, the opportunities that they've been afforded, and why it is a good place to consider. In thinking of really the usability of this and the adaptability of this, it was important to us, but really important to the folks that helped to build this from across the state, that it wasn't just like a stamp of Wisconsin, that it was able to provide opportunities to showcase regions and those assets that make different parts of the state unique and special in their own ways. So what you're seeing here is kind of that landing page on the regions. If someone is interested in whether it's Northwest or Southeast, whatever it might be, that they can kind of drill down and dive down into specific information about that area. And I want to say, if you can notice, there are concentric circles that are used to define that, because if I'm someone that doesn't really know where Eau Claire might be in relation to Madison or something, I'm looking at an area. I'm not necessarily looking at city boundaries or anything like that. So we wanted to make it user-friendly from their perspective. So the next couple of slides are just showing a glimpse, and this is still in production. This website is set to be live within a couple of weeks, but just giving you an idea of what you would see if you drill down into a regional page. Demographics, data information, some of that high level, like top companies, top employers, major cities, industry related stats, kind of some of the accolades that region has won or is important to them. Again, talking into some more narrative, some testimonial, whether it's from companies or from people that live there. If there's been videos that have been done by a region or by a chamber, that those can be included in that. A lot of the images that you'll see in here have been provided by the regions themselves, because that's what they feel is really resonates and promotes their area. And then again, more of the data and stats for the site, and DWD is helping with a lot of that, specifically on the regionalization of it, promoting events that may be happening in the area or annual events. And then the big takeaway, that call to action that you have, either find a job here or find a home here. And the find a home, as you saw earlier, is powered by jobcenterofwisconsin.com. So making sure that the investments that have been made and the work that's been done and putting that website together and making sure that everybody has a place to promote their Wisconsin job opportunities is there. Now we can help feed that and promote that. Users that go to this site will be able to click on the button and fill out a form right there in the site. The minute they kind of dive down and start filling out the full kind of profile piece, that will take them over to the additional site. So the timeline of some of this, again, I mentioned that this website will be live in a couple of weeks. The Chicago area paid media campaign, January through March. We'll start to work on the with Department of Veterans Affairs and Tourism and DWD, really building out the Veterans campaign over the next couple of months, with the launch anticipated for the end of Q1 or beginning of the second quarter in 2018. And the beautiful part about having this kind of profile, this platform already built, is that on days when Governor Walker says, I want to provide $6.8 million in partnership with the legislature to help to do this, we are able to say, okay, we're ready, we can do this. And that's exactly what we're able to do today. So again, if your companies are looking to recruit from certain areas, we are happy to help you use this platform to do that as well. It can be custom, or if there's places where you're seeing a lot of interest from in employees, let us know that, because as we look at that additional spend to use, we'll be obviously focusing on Minneapolis-St. Paul, because that's our other kind of bookend. But then we'll want to start looking at other markets and where we can get some good traction from our paid investment.